You do not want to miss this episode. I'm going to show you guys signs that your nervous system is dysregulated and that you are subconsciously still playing in certain patterns, attachment style patterns, maybe avoidant style patterns, maybe a little bit of both.
Mm,
And the reason why this is so important that you ladies become aware of this is because we always will attract our reciprocal match.
yes.
So until you can recognize this from a place of love and curiosity, we're not judging ourselves, and heal it, you're going to keep playing in the same patterns.
And I'm Coach B, former lifelong bachelor, married my beautiful wife, who was a former single mom
Mhm.
of four. So we're going to go in today and give you all the tea that you need to get where you desire to be.
Yes, this is going to be so good. Grab your notepads, ladies. So, for those of you that are new here, I was a single mom before, four little kids. I was a former RN, and then I became specialized in hormones and nervous system re-regulation. Attracted my amazing husband, bonus dad, to my amazing kids. And we are literally living our best life right now, traveling around. Okay. And just to give you a little taste, if okay, and just to give you a little taste, if you tend to fall into patterns of situationships where there's like no title, that's actually a major sign
Mm,
that you have some avoidant attachment style patterns. Okay, so that's just a little taste. Okay, so for those of you that aren't aware, with your nervous system, your nervous system is running the show. It's
mm,
the subconscious part of you. It's running 90% of everything, all the patterns in your life. We're really just playing out
yes.
patterns from childhood. And, even scripturally says in Matthew 13, whatever you have, even more will be given to you. And what you don't have, even that will be taken away. And what that means is whatever you're embodied in, you're going to get more of.
Mm,
So, yesterday, my amazing husband was talking about how one of the main reasons why women aren't attracting
yes.
their ideal husband is because you've become your ideal husband. Can you maybe just summarize that before we
Yeah.
get into the
Yeah.
signs?
So what it is, a lot of times, all the characteristic traits, everything
Yeah.
that you're looking for, you become it. You become the provider. You become the protector. You become the one that's making all the money, making all the decisions. So even though in your mind you're looking to attract that, you become it. And most healthy provider energy men don't want the same thing they are. They want something that's total opposite of
Hmm.
them. So out of, and this could be out of being a single mom, out of having to do it,
Yeah.
there hasn't been a balance, and you've just become that person you're looking for. So there's no polarity from the
Yes.
male side, and you're not attracting the type of guys that you desire.
Exactly. So you are always going to attract subconsciously your reciprocal match, right? And so it's just signs of healing. We're just going to get curious, but you want to, if you want to stop, not start, you want to stop
Hmm.
attracting those avoidant type men, for example, right? A lot of ladies comment on here like, oh, he's not stepping up. He was so good
Yes.
at the beginning and then he's falling away. Or, you're feeling insecure in the relationship. He's not really providing that safe,
Yes.
secure relationship that you're craving
Yes.
and you deserve,
Yes.
right? So these are times where you want to start getting curious of like, okay, I'm the common denominator
Yes.
here. This is not a time for you to beat yourself
Yes.
up at all. You are so worthy of a healthy, secure, loving relationship. Okay.
Yes.
But we got to get curious first before we can start making transformations.
And Miki, who just joined the community, says she's 1000% my ideal husband.
Yeah.
So you're in
I
the
get
right
it.
place. Definitely just go ahead and binge watch,
Yeah.
check out, ask questions today if you
Yeah.
have them. But we're here to help
Yeah.
ladies that have been in this situation.
Yeah.
These are nice women. These are nice looking women a lot of
Yeah.
the time, women that have a good heart. But we're
Hmm.
just giving you information that help you get on track to be that woman that you desire to be.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's jump into it. So here are some signs that you are playing in anxious attachment style patterns. Okay, and this is going to dysregulate your nervous system. Your nervous system and your attachment patterns are so interconnected with each
Mhm.
other. And for those of you that are kind of new to this world, and I was saying, your nervous system is what's running the show
Mm,
subconsciously, but it's also when you're dysregulated, you're going to be hyper triggered, you're going to have the walls up. It's just not going to be fun. You're
mm,
constantly going to be in fight or flight or freeze mode
yes.
constantly, right? And that's going to show up in your relationships. So anyway, let's jump into it. So here's some signs that you could be playing in anxious attachment styles and have a dysregulated nervous system when it comes to dating and in marriage.
Yes.
One of the biggest signs that we see is you're an overgiver.
Mm.
You overdo it. You spread yourself thin. You have a hard time saying no. You're the people pleaser.
Yes.
You're the nice girl. You have learned, in order for you to feel safe in your nervous system at a young age, so there was peace at home.
Mm.
You were soothing everybody. You were taking care of everybody. And, that carried on with you into adulthood, where, you're still doing things to make sure everyone else is good, everyone else is taken care of. And so that often will cause hormone issues. But in dating and relationships, another sign is when that person is away from you, the person you're talking to, you feel anxious.
Mm.
You have a hard time trusting. Like, you can't just relax. You can't just trust and just know he's going to show up consistently.
Mm.
You're feeling like you have to overdo things to almost seek his approval, if you're being really honest with yourself. And the root of this is you have subconsciously, once again, we're not judging ourselves, ladies, okay? But subconsciously, you have overvalued people outside of you and undervalued yourself.
Mm.
And when you do that, you're constantly seeking approval. You're constantly seeking validation. This puts you in your masculine chasing mode,
Mm.
because now you are pursuing. Now you're showing him how amazing you are, so he, stays close to you, so you don't feel anxious.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because what it can look like as well when you're overgiving, always making sure everyone is taken care of,
Yeah.
it goes into the relationship where you may not allow him to be in his masculine. And what it can look like, if you're leaving the house, you're the one that's checking the doors, not him. You're making sure everything's turned off. You're doing everything. You're opening the door for yourself. Not, and a lot of times it's out of habit, but what it can be as well is you proving that you don't need help. You don't need someone to do it for you. So I can do it myself. And it's subconscious. It's not it, because even in our situation, when we first got together, what happened, she was used to being a single mom. So a lot of things she had to unlearn and relax and know that I was going to do it. And that's from opening the door.
Yeah.
That's from taking care of business. So it was a way to protect herself and her kids before I came into the picture. But really understanding and relaxing and not overdoing or overgiving is when you start allowing others to do it, even allowing your kids to do things, just relaxing and saying, okay, I need this done, but I'm going to allow them to do it so I can get out of my chasing, doing energy. And it's got to be a conscious decision before it becomes subconscious.
Yes, exactly. And ladies, the reason why we show up on here and we help you, ladies, is because this was us. This was me. Okay. And taking time to heal and re-regulate your nervous system and heal your patterns, it does take time. Not to say it's going to take you forever. We believe in quantum leaping and collapsing timelines, and God is a redeemer. And I do believe that you are listening to this for a reason, that it is your time to heal if this is resonating for you, because God only reveals to heal. So if you're finding this type of content right now, you're in the Feminine Energy Academy, it's because it is your time to heal this out of your nervous system for good, so you can actually enjoy yourself again, and even at a body level, women that are super anxious and, or, kind of playing in both patterns, you're perfectionists, right? Like, you're just overdoing it. And this was me too. And I can admit that, where that perfectionism, right? And especially when you're back on the dating scene, overdoing it at the gym, over obsessing about food and stuff like that. And I had to really relax. I had to really relax around it. And so now I do things from a healthy, healed place. And I also had to trust, what? I'm going to be the right type of pretty for my husband. I don't have to stress that I'm a single mom. I don't have to stress that I'm not 20 anymore, back on the dating scene, all these little things. And as you heal and as you really retrain your nervous system to feel safe and secure, that's when you become so magnetic to the masculine. Okay. So let's jump into signs that you are playing in avoidant patterns. Now, once again, a lot of people, I would say most people, play in both patterns, where it's like a little bit of anxiousness and a little bit of avoidant. I know for me, I was more avoidant.
Mm.
I'm going to guess that a lot of you are more avoidant with a little bit of anxiousness mixed, sprinkled in there.
Right.
And the reason why is just one, that's becoming the most popular, like that's currently the most popular attachment style.
Mm.
And also, it's a lot of successful people are avoidant, right? It's that classic masculine energy of shutting off your emotions, not getting too close to people because it just doesn't feel safe. And it really promotes hyper independence and that masculine energy of like, I don't need anybody. I'm just going to do it myself. So I know that that's a lot of women that we attract, right? And so here's one sign that you're playing in this pattern and maybe not realizing it, besides the hyper independence, I don't need a man energy. One thing is you tend to go into situationships. So you're actually avoiding dating for marriage. And the reason why, I mean, that's stuff that guys do.
Yeah.
Right? That's what guys do, where they just kind of hook up with women.
Yeah.
And so now we're seeing a lot more women do that, where there's no, labels. And the reason why people do that is because you're avoiding that fear of rejection.
Yeah.
If there's no labels and you're just hooking up with each other and you're connected, there's no fear of being hurt because there was no labels. It wasn't really anything, right? But if there's a label there, like you're engaged, you're about to get married, or even boyfriend, girlfriend, then it's like there's that fear of rejection. So a lot of times people will display these patterns of where you're friends with benefits, or you're just in these, you have rosters.
And it's so interesting because that avoidant style is really masculine, like you're talking about, because what men do and people that are in their masculine do is they compartmentalize. I don't want to think about this right now. I need to focus on this specifically, so our minds are able to put things in categories and not address it until it needs to be addressed. But an unhealthy avoidant style is it never gets addressed. You just put it to the side. I don't want to deal with this. I'll just keep moving forward, and it never gets addressed. So even for men, it's unhealthy to have that style where you never address it. But when you're in your masculine, you're in your masculine, you put it to the side, you don't think about it, and you don't address it in a healthy way. That way, and it's not attractive to us as men because that's what we do. We're not looking for someone who does the same thing. If we're avoidant if we're compartmentalizing things, we want to be with someone who's able to address it and help us have these conversations. But if you look at most men that talk to each other, it's like they're friends forever. It's things that have happened. They'll never address it. They'll never talk about it. They'll move on from it. And they'll just, okay, we're still cool. Now, it's still some things underneath that are going on, but it's important to not just push it to the side, but to be able to deal with it. And us as healthy masculine energy men, we need a woman who's able to help these conversations, help us get out of just, okay, I'm not going to address it, but help us have these conversations in a healthy way.
Yeah, exactly. And these are patterns I healed before he came into the picture, right? Because until you really heal your nervous system, and it doesn't have to be perfect at all. There was no way that I was perfect before my husband came into the picture.
Really?
But I would say,
No, I'm just kidding.
but my dominant emotions, my dominant patterns had changed a lot. I was way more regulated. I was way less triggered. I was way more trusting, open to just like allowing him to come into my life and allowing him to see me in my states that were not perfect, right? And having 4 kids, and all my single moms understand that behind the scenes, it's just not that pretty a lot of times. There's a lot of chaos, right? And that can bring a lot of shame. And that can bring a lot of shame. And so that's what I was struggling with personally, because like I was trying so hard to keep my life together. I was doing the best I could, but it just, was messy, right? And so until you deal with that and remove the shame, your nervous system is going to feel very dysregulated, and you're going to and for me, what that looked like was avoiding dating for a marriage, because I'm like, okay, I need to clean this up first. I need to clean this mess up first. I got to do something about these kids. now, before like who's going to want to come into this situation. Those are the types of things that I had to work on.
Yeah.
And now I help my ladies work on, so you can feel safe in your nervous system and worthy
Yeah.
in your nervous system to attract a healthy man.
And it's so good as well, even as you're talking, the fact that you were able to open up and show me your life was, it actually gave the polar opposite than what most people think.
Yeah.
Response than most people
So
think.
true.
Because for men, when we see what's going on now, it's like, okay, we can make an adjustment here. I can deal with this. And at
Yeah.
least I know the starting point. It's not like you're hiding and saying, okay, everything's
Yeah.
perfect, everything's great. No, you address some areas. You
Mhm.
talked about some areas. Some areas came up just naturally.
Yeah.
Things just came out. And that gave me the confidence as a man to
Mhm.
know that moving forward, we can work through things. And I was able to help you in certain areas.
Yeah.
So if I didn't know it, then it just jumps on me after the marriage.
Yeah.
Now it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
Why were you not saying this? But
Yeah.
understanding where you're at, because you weren't necessarily avoiding addressing certain things,
Mhm.
gave me the confidence to know that we could move forward in a healthy way.
Oh, that's so good. And that's exactly it, ladies. Where, and here's the thing, you don't want to lead with it. So
Mhm.
you don't want to lead with it, okay, my life is a mess, because most men are going to run away, okay?
Mhm.
But you can do a lot of the inner work, a lot of the inner healing. I honestly really did that messy inner work,
Mhm.
especially the nervous system re-regulating. That was huge for
Yeah.
me, huge, right the year before he came into the picture. And so by the time he came into the picture and was seriously wanting to date me for marriage, the guards started to go down a little bit. Like,
Mhm.
just so you know,
Yeah.
like, I'm dealing with this
Yeah.
financial mess over here. Like, I'm just being honest, right? Where it's like things might look perfect on the outside with
Mhm.
business and social media, but I had anyone that's gone through a loss, has gone through a divorce, knows what I'm talking about, right? There's just legal and financial stuff that you have to deal with. And I didn't understand nervous system dysregulation back then. And so it brought a lot of shame, like, the analysis paralysis, the procrastination, the trauma
Yeah.
freeze, the trauma brain that comes with these things that people just don't talk about. And you don't even know how to help yourself, because you're like, you don't even understand why you are the way you are,
Mhm.
putting stuff off, avoiding things. But really, your nervous system is just totally dysregulated. So I discovered this before he came in. I started healing myself and, starting to put the pieces back together, which allowed me to feel safe enough that I'm like, okay, the right man will be able to come in and be able to, accept me and the kids and help me with this.
Yeah.
And because I came from that angle, not like, oh, my life is a mess, fix me,
Right.
but like, this is what I'm working on.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. I'm
Yeah.
a work in progress. I'm going to be honest with you. It gave him that space to
Yeah.
come in and be like, okay, I'm going to help you with this. I'm going to
Mhm.
help you with this.
Yeah.
And I'm like crying, like emotional, like,
Right.
ah.
And we always say, and
Yeah.
this isn't something that subconsciously men do, but men want to be a hero. Men want to be able to help.
He definitely was my hero.
And it's not coming in saving you, but it's
Yeah.
having space where you're actually needed as a man.
Yeah.
And even if you think it's something that's the worst thing ever, trust me, a lot of men have been with women that are probably worse situations, and are a lot of times okay with it, as
Mhm.
long as you're willing to work
Yeah.
through it with them, as long as you give them space to do what's needed.
Mhm.
It's really a lot of times nothing too big for a man, because it's like, okay, this is their opportunity to
Mhm.
step up and help. And we love to see how things progress. We love seeing things go from nothing to something, from
Mhm.
an empty room to us putting together the bed, the dressers, the TV, and now it's a full room. We love
Yeah.
to see that transformation. And as long as you give space for it, a lot of men that are healthy, that are in their masculine, and as long as you've done work, a
Mhm.
lot of men will be willing to step up and fill in, as long as you give them that space.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times this is why women will settle for guys that they're not really the type of person they would marry, or they settle for situationships, is because deep down you do have that shame. Right? You do have that shame, or deep down you've been so burned from divorce, for example. We coach a lot of women that have been divorced, and there's so much pain there that it's like, I do not want to get married
Yeah.
again. I do not want to put myself in that position again. But you still want to you're still human, right? So you still want to hook up with people. And so, but the problem with that, babe, is it blocks your actual husband from finding you. It keeps you dysregulated, causes that anxiousness, it causes that baggage, and can become receiving blocks
Mm.
where it doesn't only affect your love life, but affects your finances, because all of
Mm.
this is the same.
Yes.
And I wanted to give one example of the anxious pattern that I
Okay.
noticed recently.
Okay.
So, and I was telling you this yesterday. So, there's this gorgeous influencer. She's a model online. I'm not going to say her name because I don't call women out like that online. But if I said who she was, you would probably know her. A lot of you would know her. She's absolutely beautiful. She's, a bit, she's an influencer. Okay. This girl has been single since I was freshly widowed and then I started on social media. Okay. And she's younger than me. She's literally 10 out of 10 perfection for when it comes to beauty. And she's been talking about calling in her husband and praying and waiting for her husband and man of God and all this stuff, right? And one of her videos popped up yesterday on my feed, and the girl's still single.
Mm.
But the problem with this is she was literally flexing,
Mm.
taking the guy out on a date.
Mm.
So she created a video about how she is so proud of herself because this guy likes a certain activity and she took him out and it was a flex. And then on the video, she's interviewing him about how she's asking him, how amazing is this date right now?
Mm.
And all I could think is like, oh my goodness, this beautiful woman is in her masculine energy because she is trying to impress him versus the masculine trying to impress her.
Wow.
She's taking him on a date. And we're not talking about you guys have been married and the man has spoiled you and then, you take him to his favorite game to
Right.
surprise him. That's not what we're talking about. No, you are just dating this guy and you're taking him out and then you're flexing on social media. And all the girls in the comments are cheering for her. I'm like, this is why y'all are still single. This is everything is backwards.
Yes.
This is an example of that anxious attachment style where you feel like you have to go above and beyond to prove yourself to a man. But yes, he'll love it. He was eating it up. He loved it. But now you're attracting a man that's in his feminine receiving mode, not his masculine giving mode.
Yes. And this is a lady that has already said that she desires to be married. So it's not that she's just dating, having fun.
Yeah.
She said that she desires to be married. And what it reminds me of, I've seen a couple of things online, but what it is, the guys are turning into the bad bees. Like you have to take them out. They're flexing, and that's even feeding into that because that's what he's like, okay, what else? What else do I want from this? He's telling her his desires, what he wants to do, what he wants to eat. She's in her masculine. And even I don't care what type of guy he is, now it becomes he has the leverage. He's going to do what he wants. And those turn into situationships that never, if rarely, if ever, work out because guys aren't attracted to that. And I don't want women to get confused because guys will go on dates with someone. If they're nice looking, if you plan everything out, they'll go. But internally, it won't connect. And they might not even know why. Because you're nice looking. It's like, I should be with her. But naturally, men aren't attracted to women that are leading in the relationship, that are planning, that are coming towards them, that are setting dates on what the next thing is, that are proposing to men. Like all of these go in that same direction because it starts that way with just, okay, this is a fun date. This is nice. She's doing something for him, but he's never done anything for her. Yet they're not in a relationship. And I'm all for, women, doing different things. But when we're talking about getting to know someone, it's got to be the man coming at you. It's got to be the man planning the dates. And then just one more point as well, because the interviewing part of it, lets him know that this isn't someone that he can necessarily take serious. This is for likes. This is a show, is what he would feel like. And he'll play along in the show. He'll play along maybe for years. If she's nice looking, he'll have a situationship with her. He'll be on her videos. He'll be a part of everything that she's doing. But deep down inside, he won't commit to her because she's coming at him. So I don't want ladies to think because they're smiling and laughing on the video that everything is great. A healthy masculine energy man doesn't want a woman coming towards him, asking to go on dates, planning stuff out, telling the world how handsome he is with no commitment.
Yeah.
So just you have to relax, have to allow things to naturally go about the way that they should. And a lot of it is doing the inner work, doing what you need to
Yeah.
do before, instead of saying, this is taking too long. Let me just step out.
Yeah.
And, I'm tired. Nobody's coming at me. So
Yeah.
I'll just start asking men out. That's the wrong way to go.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, this is different than you appreciating the man.
Yeah.
And we go really deep in this in the Feminine Energy Academy, what men crave, deeply crave. And even on this channel, we talk a lot about this, where you have to understand what the masculine deeply craves at an intrinsic level, at a subconscious level, that respect and that admiration and that
Yes.
appreciation. But that a lot has to do with your energy as a woman and your attitude towards him versus you buying him stuff. If you think that you need to buy things for him and do things for him, you're in your doing energy, you're in your sperm energy, you're in your masculine energy, because the masculine is about doing,
Yeah.
right, and performing. Another way you can subconsciously tell that you are playing in anxious patterns as a woman is the guy that you're seeing right now, or guys that you have seen, you feel like you have to compete. You have to compete with maybe other women, or you just have to compete to prove how amazing you are. Like maybe he's talking to other girls, or maybe he's, not really sure about you. And so you're like, okay, let me just do this to show him how amazing I am. Let me buy this for him. Let me take him on this trip.
Yep.
Let me cook and clean for him. Let me bend over for him. Let me do all these things for him. And because then you're trying to show yourself worthy of this guy, and he'll go along with it.
Yeah.
He'll love it. He'll eat it up 100%, but he's going to be subconsciously repelled, and he's not going to know why. And the reason why is because now he's more in his receiving mode, and healthy men subconsciously will get turned off by that eventually, because they're not activated in their masculine energy mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
And before we go to the next point, R1 says, "You ain't wrong, brother. I want a girl that'll let me lead the relationship as a man."
Oh, okay. R1, you got to join our dating community, the Dating for Marriage community, Adora support. Can you put the link there? That is our community with men and women, and a lot of our women are in there. So guys, if this message resonates with you and you want a woman that follows a lot of the values that we teach, those traditional values about being in your feminine, receiving, a woman that is healed in her nervous system. She's not disrespectful. She's not triggered. She works on her body and how she looks, and she wants marriage. Then I encourage you guys to jump into our Dating for Marriage program, because a lot of those women, I'm not saying that they're all perfect or they're like perfectly healed, but a lot of them are on this journey that we teach, where they are getting the tools to heal these patterns.
And we'll get to your questions at the end of the next point. So definitely keep putting the questions in the comment section. We love the engagement, and we'll get to those right after we give our next point.
Okay. So just curious, where are you guys seeing yourselves? Are you seeing yourself more in the anxious patterns, or more the avoidant patterns, or maybe a little bit of both? Right? A lot of people. And if you are seeing yourself in that, your starting point is going to be healing your nervous system. Okay. Now, our YouTube channel is about awareness. This is where we just help you get curious. But if you want to go deeper in this, I have an anxious attachment style quiz that you can take. And actually, tomorrow, I'm doing a very deep coaching masterclass, where I'm going to teach you ladies how to really heal your nervous system, re-regulate your nervous system in the area of dating and marriage. So if you are playing in these patterns, the anxious,